Yeah. Good evening, everyone. Okay. Good evening, everyone. My name is Abib. I'm the technical lead for GDSE UI. For those that might not know the full meaning of GDSE, that's Google Developer Student Club, University of Ibadan. It's nice to have everyone on the call. And without further ado, we'll just get started. On the call with me is Victor, who is the team lead of a solution that entered into the top 10 solutions challenge at the last session, and he would be giving us some tips on how he and his team got that done. But before that, I would just be walking us through some things and explaining some of the important things that is necessary for this. Yeah. And can you confirm if you can hear me? Thank you. All right. Thank you. Yes, I admit. Oh, admit. All right. So this is it. Okay. 1 second. I'll just need to admit some, and I might come here from time to time to admit different people here. Thank so this particular guide has all of the guidelines that you need to know to prepare for this. Um, the solution challenge started 2019, and this is the fifth year, 2024. The goal is very simple, which is building a product, building a solution that has a major impact and solves one of the problems in the 17 SDGs, which is the Sustainable Development Goals of the United Nations. Um, and more importantly, to ensure that you make use of a Google product while solving any of those solutions. Okay. So basically, students form teams all over the world from different Google Developer Student Club, and a team is comprised of basically from one person to a four-membered team. So that means you can go solo, but of course it is better you form a team for more effectiveness. And then when all teams submit their solution, it is being reviewed and then cut short to the top 100, which they have some prizes to win, like a T-shirt, certificates, and mentorship also from Google to rebrand to iterate on their solution and then proceed to the next level. And okay. And please, if you have any questions or any ambiguities during this session, kindly drop them through this chat section. Thank you. And then from the top 100, it is cut down to the final 10, which each team member win a 1,000 US cash prize to further on their solution. And then the top 10 is also cut down to the top three, the best three solutions, which each team member wins a $3,000 dollar prize to further on their solution. And also mentorship from Google to further on their solution here. So the 17 SDGs that we have, they are all here. No poverty. Probably you are building a solution to solve poverty, hunger, good health, quality education, gender equality, clean water, and all of these are different solutions that you can build for. All of these links would be dropped after the session. Yeah, so you don't need to bother about them. And next, so that was basically what's it called? A summary of the whole challenge. Then we have the timeline for the challenge. The challenge started already early December, but it is still ongoing. And if you have not gotten started, don't worry. There's still some time to prepare. about 7 weeks till the deadline. So there are 9 steps to complete and send your solution. The first step is to join a Google Developer Student Club. So every institution has a Google Developer Student Club. For that of UI, it is the GDSE UI, and I believe majority of us, if not all of us, are all in the club. So if you are not there, you can kindly signify. So that would be addressed adequately. So you join a Google Developer Student Club, you form a team. As it was said earlier, your team can be of one person to a maximum of 4 people. You select one of the SDG goals and then you build towards that goal. As we said earlier, there are 17 SDG. You select, so your solution can address one or more of the SDG goals. So you can have a solution that is solving 3 goals, 3 SDGs at the same time, or it can be a single SDG. You identify a solution, maybe in your local environment or any solution at all. You design the user interface for the solution. So this is where a product designer comes in place. And this will be decided by the team if you need your product designer. But it is very important and it is very, very good that you have a product designer because this is a tip as well. Google ensures that solutions, there's something called accessibility, and it basically means that can a solution be used by people that are not like very conversant with using a computer or something like that. Design the back end technology, the front end technology. In short, you design the engineering of it. That's where your front end developer comes in, back end developer comes in, your cloud engineer comes in, your data science comes in, your hardware comes in, IoT, and all of those technical skills come in place. And you should also remind that you have just a maximum of phone number of people that can be on your team. So you need to examine this very well. You test your solution after building your solution. That is, of course, you built the solution for a particular target audience. So you ensure that you test within those target audience. You get feedback from them, and then you reiterate. You record the feedback. You reiterate on those feedback to align with your solutions, and then you record and submit your solution. Um, this is like an explanation of all of that. And in addition, there's like this evaluation criteria, which is also very, very, very important to note. I think it's a total of 50 points. The impact, your solution must have a major impact in the society, and it must also be like technology driven as well. So each of them is a 25 points. Um, comprises 25 points. So you would need to go through all of this. Does your entry establish a clear challenge using the problem statement? Is it solving one of the SDG goals? The feedback that you got from your users, the iteration on them, um, and all of this, the technology that you use as well. So all of these resources would be dropped as well. Um, okay. All right, we already checked on the 17 SDGs as well. So resources that you might need to prepare for this. So there are some resources already compiled by Google. How to run a design sprint, your user journey mapping, user interview, experience mapping, and all of this for your design sprints. These are some get started guides as well that you can watch through, and also these are some inspirations from previous students that participated in it that you can go through as well, and that's that. Then the demo day comes as well. So this is an highlight of the last year demo of the top 3 solutions. Yeah, okay, and yeah, and the winner is announced. So regarding the timeline, the submission would be commencing this month, early this month, and it would last till February 20. I think February 22nd. So that's around 6 to 7 weeks from now. So there's like some time to like prepare and reiterate on your solution. And it is also important to know that you simply don't need to like complete your solution. I mean, I don't mean complete your solution. I mean, you can like add all of the features you need in your solution. So basically, is you having the MVP of your solution, and then you can keep reiterating on it. When you like, if you get lucky and then you get admitted into the next stage, you'd of course make modifications on your solution, and you keep on making modifications as well. So you should not have to like wait till you complete all of the features, complete the MVP of your solution, and then you are good to go. So the top three teams that the like best three teams that I came out last year are these teams, and the People's Choice Award is this Farm X, of which Victor Olufemi is the team lead, and is also on this call to like highlight some strategies, some tips that might be helpful for those that will be participating in this year's solutions challenge. Um, so thank you everyone. If you have any question, you can drop it in the comment section. Victor, you can please unmute your mic and go on. Thank you very much. I'm not able to hear you. I don't know if it's from my end. Please, can anyone hear me? I want to confirm where the issue is coming from.
I can hear you. I can hear Abib too.
Oh, sorry, my this thing was on mute previously. Yeah.
Just, uh,
Victor, you can go on. Thank you.
all right. You could stop sharing your screen so that
Okay.
I would share mine. Okay. I can let me know if you can see my screen.
Yes, I can. Yeah.
Okay. So I would let me change it to this slideshow where. Okay. Yeah. Are we good?
Yes, we
All
can.
right. Yeah. So hi guys. I'm going to try to like stay within time. So I'll try to like move very fast. But at the same time, I'll try to pass across the knowledge or what I came to share as fast as possible. Um, yeah. So about myself. Okay. So my name is Victor. Olufemi Victor. You can follow me on any social at Olufemi Victor. Basically, for Twitter, LinkedIn, and GitHub as well. I'll try to drop my handles on the chat, like probably towards the end. Then if you have questions, you can, of course, like let me know. There are still like Q and A's at the end of this slide, so it'll be good, like if you have good questions as well. Um, okay, yeah, I'll drop my handles. I'll drop my handles. So yeah, I'm an ambassador at Cindy. Um, I'm also an ambassador at AMLD. Currently, I work with a company remotely where I build LLM applications in Singapore at the moment. And yeah, essentially what I do is centered around data science, machine learning, and AI. And until just last month, I used to be a student at Obafemi Awolowo University. Okay. Okay, so I'm just here to like talk about the solution challenge and give, give everyone like a brief overview of how you could basically like place top positions in the solution challenge and potentially get to win top three, which will be very amazing. Okay, so Habib already like gave me some questions, so I would still like talk about them after. But I also like be checking the chats in case there are questions. You can just drop them there in case you don't want to forget or something. Yeah. So this is my team. My team is called FAMX, or that's essentially what we used to participate in the Solution Challenge for 2023, and it was composed of myself, Shion, Leko, and Festus. I think I have a picture of them, so you would see them in the comment slides. So we built an app called FAMX. Uh, it does many things essentially, but is more centered around crop disease detection and trying to essentially help farmers farm better in sub-Saharan Africa. Okay, yeah, and we won the People's Choice Award as well, aside bagging top ten position. Okay, yeah, so this is my team. This is us in the Google Lagos office. Um, yeah, so this is myself at the front holding the camera for the selfie. Let me switch on my camera in case you want to see my face. All right. And we have Festus, Lekon, and Limitless additional as well. Yeah, so this is my team for the solution challenge. And I remember when let me go back to this slide. I remember when I started the solution challenge, I'll be mindful of time. The first thing I told my team was, um, I told them like I mean, it wasn't a brag, but I was trying to, tell them how confident it is to place top positions in the solution challenge. And so what I told them is, I told them I could get to top 100 in solution challenge with my eyes closed. And I mean, surpassing top 100, I mean, we definitely need to do the work. But getting to top 100 is not a big deal at all. And why I essentially said that was, okay, so the solution challenge started in 2019, as Abib has mentioned earlier. And my first time participating in the solution challenge was 2022. Um, and during that time as well, I also got into, I mean, it was top 50, not top 100. So I got into top 50. And I did that with a friend of mine. Yeah. And we built something quite simple as well. It was centered around the agricultural space. And, you know, through that journey and all, I figured out that like scaling top position in the social challenge, while there is no like exact rubrics to it, right? There are actually simple steps you can follow, and you can definitely scale into the first set, right? So those are some of insights I will share today, and I hope I would be able to see winners from this call. All right. So okay, so what I'll be saying from now will be more of um, tips, ideas, and how you could potentially plan yourself in this solution challenge, right? So the timeline Abib has already shared. So it's essentially the first submission is always between January to March. So you have like maybe two last year when they've been doing like the announcements and all, down to March where you get to submit or make the first submission. Uh, and so it means that like you have to have started working on your projects, especially if you want to get something good out of it. And the timeline, trust me, is usually very short because students, you have like school tasks, you have work, you have assignments and the likes, right? So building something very unique and something that is going to scale out of. I mean, there were over 2,000 teams for the 2023 Solution Challenge, right, all over the world. So trying to build something that's going to place in top 10 usually will take time, and you need something of quality as well. Yeah. So Abim has already talked about most of the stuff in my slide, so I'll just like skip through it so we can talk and have more Q and A's. So this essentially the UN SDGs. So there are 17 of them, and your solution is usually supposed to, or well, it should be centered around the 17 SDGs, right? And a joke I usually make is most times when you think about problems in the world today, and when you want to solve those problems, they are most likely already here. So you could either think about the problem you find very interesting and find, oh, what SDG does it essentially apply to, or you could come here and say, okay, these are 17 SDGs. Let me find a problem centered around the one I like best in this 17. Yeah. So if you think of any problem, most likely you would there's a 99% chance it's going to be covered by one of these SDGs. And what people most likely don't know sometimes is these SDGs are 17, but they also have targets. So SDG 1 has 1.1, 1.2, etc., etc. So you probably also want to check through those targets and see what they entail. Yeah. So choosing an idea, right? I mean, you said social challenge has started already, and I'm sure this year there will be much more teams all over the world. Last year was 2,000 plus. The year before the last, I was in top 50 as well. That was also something around 1.5 to 2,000. So when you want to choose an idea, you definitely want to follow some of these four key steps. One is narrow down the UN goals, right, and choose the one you are most interested about, right. So you cannot be interested in the medical field, and you are building something around probably arts and culture, right? I mean, that's not your field, and sometimes when you don't have interest in certain things, unless you are just bringing skill sets to the team and not enthusiasm, right? I mean, you already have, a well laid out structure of what to build. That's fine. But most times, aside just skills, you want to make sure you are particularly interested in that idea. Right. So, and number two is brainstorm potential products within these topics. There's also it's also a joke I used to make. There's also I usually say for every idea you tell me now, there's a 70% chance that when I Google it, I'll most likely find it somewhere online. Right. So you definitely want to. I mean, it might not exactly be the same, but yeah, you should like brainstorm around like folks that have built something like what you want to build for, see what technologies they used and see how they actually approach the problem, so that you can leverage on that. Yeah, so flesh out ideas as well. Make sure your ideas are as detailed as possible, right? And choose the one that is most feasible to you. So there are sometimes folks would want to build stuff like SpaceX, Tesla. Maybe you want to build a space rocket within the first 3 months. Well, personally, I don't know. You might be a genius, but I don't know how feasible that is, right? So try to stick to stuff you can build, and also look at the skill sets within your team. Okay, yeah. So these are some of the lessons learned from the first solution challenge I participated in, which I was able to incorporate into the second one, which I then got into top 10. And fun fact, I was the first Nigerian to actually win or qualify for the solution challenge as well. And yeah, so these are some of the things I learned from the first time I participated. Yeah, so one is take your team skill set into consideration. So in 2022, when I participated, both of us were data scientists. So we could only do data science stuff, and it meant for us that when we wanted to build a UI, we could only leverage tools like Streamlit, etc., etc. Because I'm not a designer, I don't know how to design. In fact, when things are fine or not, I usually don't know. That's why you probably see my slides are not even fine now because I don't know anything about design, right? So you definitely want to have a broad team, someone that knows about UI, UX, and stuff, or that does a good UI, right? So take your team skill set into consideration and make sure your team is as diverse as possible. And why it also looks like there's also a lot of time, there's usually not enough time, right? Some folks are already in final year, there's projects, there's a lot of work to do, right? So you definitely want to start as early as possible and and leverage that momentum, right? To yeah, to make your team excel. Yeah, so going to developing innovative solution, as I said earlier, I'll be fast so that we can have much more time to interact and discuss. All right, so make sure your idea is unique. When I mean unique, like make sure you're bringing something new at least, right, to to the stuff, right? So let's say you're building um, fintech, right? I think fintech is the in thing in the Nigerian ecosystem now. So if you're building something around fintech, right, you don't want to like do what everybody has already done. So you want to bring in something unique and something that would stand out, right? There should be a catch, right? Oh, this is a fintech app, but we do this, that, right? This is a medical app for this, but our own is unique in certain ways. Yeah. Then of course do research on the products and on the problem you are trying to solve. I'm not saying you should read research papers, obviously, but like you could do market research. Is there even a market for this, right? Is there, are there people that actually would, um, you know, subscribe to this product or even use this product at all, right? And another one is get user feedback, right? So when you build stuff, um, unfortunately, I will not be able to show my demo, but I'll drop the link. You could definitely just go onto the Google Solution Challenge page there and click on the YouTube video to watch. You'd see that we're able to leverage feedback from users, and that was essentially some of the things that we're able to tabularize and write in our reports. And I'm sure it was one of the things that also enabled us to scale through to top 10. Right. So and also ensure your solution is relevant to the problem at hand and one you're passionate about. On to some of the tips and tricks, right? So you probably have already participated in solution challenge before. In fact, all these things I've already said, you probably already know them. So what else do you probably need to know, or what are the secrets of you may that you could leverage, right? So I've listed out four stuff here, right? So which you probably want to pay attention to. One is the product demo, right? So a lot of people build like really amazing stuff, and unfortunately, like the demo is just so bad, right? Like if you go to the GitHub, if you like actually download the app to check it, you're like, these guys should actually be in top 10 or top 3. How come they didn't qualify, right? And I mean, it's nobody's fault. It's just because like they didn't do a good demo. And most times, it also like happens that um, people do their demos like maybe on the last day or last minute, sometimes last hour, right? So like those are things that actually used to what's the slang? So what's it, the rush exactly? So you start doing like rush hour, you're just trying to jam things together, and that usually will not be a very high quality submission. So you want to make sure your demo is top notch. In fact, right, if you go to fun fact, right, if you go to the top demos, um, during the first meeting I had my team, I told them, guys, go and check the I told them to watch all the YouTube demos on the solution challenge page. I can't remember how many there were then, but I told them to watch everything, like just to see one, the simplicity of the solutions, and two, how high quality their demos were. So some guys even went as far as like renting I don't know if they rented it or probably they had, but like they used a real camera, right? Or I don't know, maybe it was latest iPhone something that time. But like the quality of the videos were top notch, right? And those are some of the things that demo guys. I mean, the judges want to see. They want to see how high quality, how far you can go to actually present your solution and to do a wonderful demo, right? So your demo is just as important as the product you're making. I think that's essentially the point I'm trying to make there. Yeah, so two is focus on all aspects of the presentation, not just the development, right? So okay, let me do this. Let me go back to um, my team photo. So this is myself, right? Okay, so this is myself, Victor. I'm a data scientist. So guy directly behind me is Festus. He does web design, UI UX, and like diverse front end and back end web frameworks. And this is Limitless. Um, at the time, at the time of this competition, he had no experience in coding. That is, he had no skill set. So he was a mathematician, which of course is obviously, I don't know, it's probably not important in the solution challenge, right? But he was our admin guy. So he was the guy to do non-coding stuff, right? And the guy at the last is Salako, is a top Flutter guy, right? He does like Flutter and builds Android stuff, right? I don't know, you guys that do Android stuff probably know what all those stuff are about, right? So the point why I came back to this picture is sometimes it's not just enough to have developers in your team, because developers always like to code, they always like to build, right? You also most likely want to have someone that is probably either a domain expert, that is, a domain, maybe if you're building something in the health sector or something in the agricultural sector, that probably would not bother his or herself coding, right? So that they can, undo, tasks that, admin work. That's what I like to call it. I love to call it admin work, and I do not like admin work at all, right? So maybe writing stuff in a Google Doc, trying to work on the slides, all those kind of stuff, sure. So you want to have someone that that does all that, right? So because um, all aspects of the presentation are actually important. Lastly, prioritize strong communication in your presentation as well. So don't just talk shabbily. Don't just talk like, let your voice be audible. I mean, like $1,000 now is like 1.2 million. So you guys should try to try to push to actually come out with something on top, right? So, and lastly, which I think is the most important of all, is use Google's technology. So, why sometimes, I mean, you hear some guys that participate in the Google Solution Challenge. They tell you stuff like, I'm more of a Microsoft guy, right? Um, just try to, I mean, keep your Microsoft tools to yourself, or I don't know, maybe other frameworks you are using, and try to focus on Google technologies, right? So if you have, for instance, let's say you want to do your slides, if you have the opportunity to use Google Slides instead of Microsoft PowerPoint, please use Google Slides, right? If you're a data scientist or an ML guy on the call, you have the opportunity to use between open source, interesting, I mean, most loved frameworks like PyTorch, right? Stick with TensorFlow, right? I mean, try to use TensorFlow instead. If you're a Flutter guy, I mean, if you're a web guy, or a mobile app guy, you have the opportunity to use what's the one for Microsoft? I think it's called Power Apps, right? Don't use Power Apps, please. Use stuffs like Flutter. What's the new one now? I think it's called Jetpack Compose, right? So please just try as much as possible to use Google technologies wherever you can. So in the next slide, I have like a bunch of Google technologies that are here, which I leveraged for the last Google Solution Challenge. And trust me, this is not even everything. Of course, like IoT is just IoT. This TensorFlow, this Flutter owned by Google, this is the Google Cloud, I think, logo. This Android, this is Firebase, this is like Cloud Run, this is Cloud Build, this is Google Translate, this is Google Search Result. Trust me, we use Google Search Results actually in the Solution Challenge. You can go and watch the demo. And then there were no LLMs, or LLMs were not really popular like that. So we used the search results to generate requests. And of course, Android Studio, Google Maps also. And there are also a bunch of other Google technologies that we're not even able to fit into this picture, right? So you can imagine why the judges would see us a presentation and say, oh, I mean, these guys, we definitely have to put them in the top 10, right? So lastly, just to wrap up this presentation, right? Your communication and your presentation is very important. Abib has shared something I think is very important as well during the earlier presentation. Yeah, sure, don't worry, you have the slides, definitely, it's fine. He said there is, so if you go to the breakdown of how it is scored, right, you would see that there are actually marks that are allotted to several segments. So you find out that, the app you're even building is probably just, I don't know, maybe 30 marks or something. There are other things that are more important, or even if they are not more important, they actually make up, a huge chunk of the score, right? So in as much as you are building SpaceX, you are building Tesla, you are building the new Apple, or the latest iPhone, you also want to focus on other aspects of the score, right? So just go and check them out. They're available on the Solution Challenge page, because it's not just enough to build; it's also enough to actually do well and score well, right? And yeah, so ensure your intentions and your ideas are actually also communicated effectively, um, and also have someone that is not involved in the project to check it out and see if they actually understand. There's this, I don't know the word for it, but it happens when you worked on a problem for a long time. So the thing, what actually happens is you actually have a very clear understanding, I mean, back to back or end to end understanding of yeah, bias. Thank you so much, Kola. So you just be biased towards your product, and sometimes your product does not even make any sense, or if it makes sense, you've not actually communicated it properly, right? So you want to have fresh eyes, right, to actually check out either your submission, your demo, or even your product, right? Let them see what it looks like. Let them see if it actually makes any sense. And when we did this, because some guys might be wondering that, oh, how do I actually get guys to in the field to actually check it out? So, for instance, you build something that is centered around health, right? Maybe you build the app for doctors. It's not compulsory you go to, I don't know, I think, what's the teaching hospital in Ibadan? I think it's Ibadan Teaching Hospital, right? You can correct me if I'm wrong. UCH, thank you. I mean, it's not compulsory you go to UCH to actually go and meet doctors, right? You can go to students, I mean, in UI that are doing medical courses and tell them to check out your app and see if it makes any sense. I mean, that's feedback on its own, right? So the point I'm trying to make is allow external guys to actually check out what you're building and let them tell you if it makes any sense and let them give you feedback. And lastly, in your communication, speak slowly. Don't just rush. Speak deliberately and ensure your demo is clear. If possible, you could even do subtitles for your demo. I think YouTube already like automatically does that sometimes. So yeah, that's the point. Essentially, is let the judges be able to hear what you say. Yeah, and I've already showed this as well. So this is actually the prize board for the winners, right? So all participants, I mean, whether you win, whether you get into top 100 or not, as long as you push a submission, you definitely get a profile badge, which of course you can add to your Google Dev account. And also you get an official certificate for participating in the Google Solution Challenge. And when you get into top 100, now it's top 100. Back then, it used to be top 50 when I participated in 2022. Right. So, but now it's top 100, which I think is very accommodative, right? So, when you get into top 100, you get stickers, right? I think you get swags, right? Branded shirts. I probably should have brought my branded shirt to show you guys. There's a top 100 something something they will write on it. So, and you get stickers as well. I still have a bunch of stickers, but I don't think there's a way I can pass it across to you remotely now. Okay, so and you also get a certificate for top 100 as well. Then when you get into top 10, which I think is where the hard part begins, from this top 10 downwards, is actually hard. It's very easy to get into top 100 if you follow some of the steps I've already outlined in this call, right? So getting into top 10, you get an opportunity to do a demo day. Also, you get a top 10 swag box. So apart from the swags you get in top 100, you get swags again for being in top 10. You get social recognition as well. Google wrote a blog post about us, which I think is really cool. So, I mean, that's an opportunity to gain worldwide recognition, right? You also have the opportunity to showcase your solution to the Google developers all around the world, and that falls back down to the demo day. And you get the top 10 certificate as well. So all top 10 finalists are actually contestant finalists as well. So it means that in addition to all what I've said now, you also get a cash prize of $1,000, right? And it's not $1,000 per team; it's $1,000 per person. So it means that if you are two in your team, you get $2,000. If you are three in your team, you get $3,000. And for us, we were four in our team, so we got $4,000. So it's $1,000 per person. And if by adventure you are an Odoku and you qualify to be top three, instead of getting $1,000, you get $3,000. And of course, again, it's not $3,000 per team; it's $3,000 per person. So if you are four in your team, you get $12,000 for being in top three, which I think is actually amazing. I mean, $1,000. It's a lot of money. I think. I mean, there are a lot of technicals on this call now, but I actually think it's a lot of money. Yeah. So aside cash and the likes, you'd also get like really amazing opportunities. One of them is actually getting to be mentored by Google experts. So yes, so you actually get mentorship opportunities from Google experts, right? And I mean that alone is enough, to actually be grateful for. right? And of course, you could also get support to even take your project further. And who knows what will come from such awesome networking, right? Yeah. So what next, right? Keep learning. Uh, if you want to use Flutter and you probably not start your Flutter course, try to see if you can complete it. Keep building. Go back to the stuff you're iterating on and keep working on it. And of course, I'm expecting that you know be a winner in the solution challenge. Yeah. So thank you so much, and there are extras for Q&A. So if you have Q&As, you can. I don't know. I'll probably pass it back to Abi very shortly. Yeah, but I'll just answer some of these questions Abi already like sent to me via LinkedIn. So one was, what do you think you would have done much better to have increased your chances to the top three? Wow. Honestly, this is a very interesting question. Um, okay, so one thing I probably there were actually still many crazy stuff we wanted to implement, uh, but definitely we're not able to do that. One because I mean time is always not there, right? And another thing I probably think also is so this was my first time getting to top 10, and I I I thought that after top 10 you'd probably reiterate the solution again and do top three. So that's not how it works. So the thing is, when you get to top 100, you're given a chance to work on your solution again. You do a presentation again, and you get into top 10, right? Um, but when you get into top 10, you don't get a chance to actually reiterate your solution and work on it again. So that is what will be used to judge your top three. So it means that when you're submitting for the top 10, just have in mind that this is exactly what will be used for, your top three, what's it called, judgments, right? So it means that whatever you want to push to your top 10, ensure that is it, and that is like the closing, right? So I think that's probably some of it. And yeah, so how was I able to manage my time as a student? I have a lot of ginger, right? I know how to ginger people very well. So I was able to ginger my team. So I think that was a lot of it. And aside that as well, like you have to, I mean, if you be encouraging your team, you have to show that you're putting effort, right? So I mean, if you want to build something and you've not done your part, how do you want your teammates, as the team lead, you've not even built what you're supposed to do, right? So how do you want your teammates to actually respond, right? So you want to, make sure you do your own part on time so that you can, let everybody know, you guys are the one delaying now, and you do consistent check-ins. So for us, we had like meeting times, like weekly meeting times. And they were like obviously like weird times, like 9 p.m., 10 p.m., so that we could accommodate everyone, which we're all students, right? Everybody needs to read their books. So you want to, make sure you maximize your time. Essentially, that's the goal, and try to meet as frequently as possible so that you can have check-ins. How far you don't do, you don't do that part, those kind of stuff. Then, yeah, another question is, what do I think might have earned me the top 10 spot? Yeah, so when we won top 10, I think for us, one of the things I think, which of course it may not be true, but one of the things I usually think earned us the top 10 spots is our ability to intelligently leverage Google technologies. So if you go back to the slide, I think these are actually a lot of Google technologies. And in fact, this is not even everything. So we use Flutter, we use TensorFlow, we use Google Search Results, Google Translate, Google Cloud Run, Google Cloud Build, Firebase, Android, Google Maps. I mean, like, by the time the judges were probably seeing this, they were like, these guys don't try. Maybe just, at least chook them for top 10, right? So that's something I probably, and this is not all of them, trust me. We use Google Colab and some other things as well. Right. So yeah. So I mean, just try to as much as possible to make sure you overkill when it comes to Google technologies. Yeah. So for a brief about my solution, you can just go to the Google Solution Challenge website. You will see the solution there, so you can just watch them. And a very open guy, so you can always DM me anytime on LinkedIn or Twitter or any of the socials. I'll do well to respond. Yeah. So yeah, that's it. Thank you so much, and that's the end of my presentation. Yeah, over to you. Thank you, guys.
Thank you very much, Victor. I believe that was a very, very um, interesting session, and I was able to like personally take a lot of information and guide from it. I believe every other person would have done that as well. So if you have any question, please just signify by raising up your hand. We have about 8 minutes to the end of the call. I think it's um, the Google Meet kind of stuff is just an hour long program, so it does not allow for more than an hour. Yeah. So thank you very much, Victor. So one of the other things I think skips my mind at the beginning, but I think it's very good to like talk about it during this end session is that um so the Google Developer Student Club University of Ibadan has put up kind of an intentional scheme that allows everyone, every single person that will be participating in the solution to kind of have a community where we can like check our ideas so that we can like gain more spots in the top 100 solutions. So I think a WhatsApp link was dropped earlier. Please kindly join that as more information will be passed on that. And also another aim of this is for those that probably do not have their team formed already. Um, it would also help you to like what's it called, to kind of match make you guys into having team members that you probably need on your team, and also provide you technical expertise since the technical tracking UI GDSE has 11 different tracks, of which everything is like very, very paramount to the success of your solution. And there are also mentors that would help you in ensuring that the technicalities of your solutions are very, very on point. And um, okay, and I think one more important thing is that for teams that might probably be having an idea of an hardware-based solution that probably would require expenses and things in those regards, and we know that hardware solutions might be expensive, the GDSC UI would be helping you in subsidizing the cost of that based on some certain criteria. So do not feel you would probably not be participating because of those that particular kind of mindset. So we'll be having a session probably later tonight or tomorrow on the WhatsApp group, and everyone can like follow up from there. And yeah, so let's go to the question section very quickly if anyone has any question. So currently no one has their hands raised, so I think that's notifying that no one has any question also. Personally, I have a question for you, Victor. I noticed that on your slide where you like illustrated the solutions that you use, you had a couple of Google technologies that you used. So I would like to ask, was it the job of a person on your team or multiple people that like drew the architecture of that solution where you have to like go about it? Because when you're having something like this, then it requires some technical expertise of having kind of an architecture, how this connects to this, and everything is working in sync. So can you like probably elaborate on that? Thank you. You are muted, Victor.
Thank you so much. Yeah, so I was saying, I don't know if you can see my screen. Let
Yes,
me
I
try to see
can.
if I can answer the question in 1 minute. All right. So this is actually my slide for the Google Solution Challenge last year, where I picked, that photo from. And yeah, I think while I think the architectures it looks like we did a lot. What we actually did for the architecture were simply leveraging APIs. So I myself, okay, so I studied electrical and electric engineering in school. Um, yeah, so aside my machine learning and data science stuff, I'm also quite vast when it comes to building IoTs and deploying them, right? So I think having that skill set was probably an advantage. So what I did was I actually know that it was very difficult to okay, I'll share the slides. Don't worry. It will be very difficult to actually work with people to integrate so many different technologies without having pros, right? So what I think my team members were actually pros in their own way to actually resolve those kind of ardent issues, right? What I did was I segmented every aspect of the project, and I passed everything as APIs to the guy that built the Android app. So the IoT, the what's it called? Every aspect of the machine learning product we built several machine learning APIs, crop disease detection, crop recommendation. There's also a point where after detecting the disease, you get recommendation on how to resolve those diseases. Right. So every single thing was actually built independently. Then we passed them as APIs. So the point is, when you are trying to build a very complex infrastructure, you are trying to make sure that you build everything such that everyone can just easily integrate as fast as possible. Yeah, so that's what I think it is. Let me stop there, guys.
All right, thank you very much, Victor. I think there's some other question in the chat section. Okay. Yeah, so that will be all for now since it's already like time. It's about time. Bye. Enjoy.